Hello, one and all. It's Space Metal Ferrari 248 back at it again with another video. This time, since I'm a bit bored out of my mind, I was contemplating on doing a 2021 version of this particular video, since now Jimmie Johnson, my main man, has officially retired and a lot has changed over the course of 3 years since 2018. And just, well, why not? I think giving my honest, up-to-date opinion on each driver is a necessary thing to do. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, starting off with Quinn Hoff 00. Don't really have much to say about him other than him being almost a weekly caution, in the fact that he pretty much is always one of the first drivers to get a DNF unless a big one comes soon. A lot sooner than predicted, so I kind of don't really have much to say for him on there. Kurt Busch, one of my favorite drivers, remaining from the Gen 4 era. I've always liked Kurt Busch. I always liked him, even starting off from his Roush Fenway racing days, but when he got charged for drunk driving and then released from Roush, only for him to go to Penske because Rusty Wallace was retiring, his career was starting to go in directions that he really didn't want to go, and it kind of really took a big toll on his attitude and mental state of mind, where he had a lot of hysterical rages on the radio, which his rages, some of them justified, some of them not so justified, especially when he called the 2013 Charlotte race a Jimmie Johnson charity race, which I thought was really fucking stupid, but whatever, it is what it is. And when he was with his bitch of a wife, who was a trained assassin at the time, Kurt Busch really had bad attitude problems given the toxic environments he was in, and it took a toll on him so bad that it really affected his attitude to the point where he actually had to ruin a lot of other drivers' day in anger, especially towards Jeff Gordon at Martinsville in 2010, when Jeff Gordon just gave him a typical bump and run, and then what does Kurt Busch do in the front straightaway? Blatantly dumps him and takes away his chances of winning. Wow. Okay, enough dwelling, but considering that Kurt Busch had too many on-track antics, even in the Penske days, he went to Phoenix Racing for 1 year in 2012, and even then, the two problems didn't stop there when he said to one of the interviewers that it was very hard for him to not beat the shit out of him for asking him, quote, stupid questions, but nowadays, ever since he went to SHR and Chip Ganassi, he hasn't really had much on-track antics, so yeah, go Kurt Busch. I don't really remember him doing or saying anything stupid. He has come a long way to return back to the Kurt Busch we once knew. So ever since then, he's earned my trust. Brad Keselowski. Not really a big Brad guy, but I do respect him a lot. I used to hate Brad Keselowski, especially with the whole antics with Carl Edwards, but looking back on it, Carl Edwards kind of was a bit reactionary at Atlanta. All he did was try to spin him out for payback because he kept messing with him the previous year and that race, but he didn't expect a flip. That was mostly the problem with the wings, because they were too easy to cause the cars to blow over. And then at Gateway, it just escalated into an unnecessary extent. And then I was pretty mad that he was the championship winner in 2012, given my driver, Jimmie Johnson. Lost because of a missing lug nut issue, and then it clogged the drivetrain, and then into the garage he went. But Jimmie Johnson went on to win his 6th championship in front of me, and then his 7th, so I guess you could call that a retribution. But 2014 is where he really radiated in controversy, when he caused a lot of on-track antics towards Matt Kenseth when he turned him into the wall on a restart at the Charlotte race. I was at that race too, and then was doing a lot of stupid shit towards Denny Hamlin, and then instigated towards Tony Stewart when he touched Tony Stewart's rear bumper. And then Tony Stewart, out of irritation, just drove in reverse into his front bumper. And then Brad Keselowski goes on to do skin marks in the garage. Like, good gravy, was Brad Keselowski out of control that night. And then Matt Kenseth, out of fury, sprinted towards Brad into the alley of haulers and then attacked Brad. And hey, Brad deserved it. And then it just spirals out of control once we get to the Texas race. To be fair, Jeff Gordon did drive down into Brad Keselowski. To my understanding, Brad Keselowski wasn't entirely at fault, especially when this is the bullshit format we're talking about, and a late race caution. And especially when Jeff Gordon's crew could have helped him avoid that altogether. When he changed the flat tires, he could have finished in better positions. But I digress. Brad Keselowski, while sometimes I can get his on-track styles can get frustrating whenever he's outrunning my men, he still has an attitude of a respectable driver. So yeah, anytime he were to win, I'd be actually cool with it, because he's actually has the attitude of a champion, the attitude of a winner, and he's able to take L's when he is having fun racing against his opponents. So yeah, there you go. Oh boy, do I have to talk about this piece of shit? Well, okay, I'll cut him slack, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He has joined forces with Hendrick Motorsports. He has yet to prove me wrong and turn my head around, but still, I don't know why people like him so much beyond his number. Like, you take a look at Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott is a NASCAR champion and has been consistently living up to expectations, even beyond expectations. Kyle Larson has been turning himself around after he gave himself a big setback, which we'll talk about later. Don't you worry. Ryan Blaney, while he may be quiet in many races here and there, he still has shown that he has the talent to compete for race wins and championships. Austin Dillon, on the other hand, what exactly has he done to stay in this 3-car? Nothing! Absolutely nothing. And you can't hide behind your fluke crown jewel wins and your fluke Texas win. You won that Texas win because of the shitty, dirty air creating the inability to pass. If that was on a low downforce package, you would have been dropping like a rock all the way back into the pack because of those old tires. And you blatantly dumped Aric Almirola, 2018 Daytona 500, and of course a legend right now to guess, your first career win. Austin Dillon is, at best, a mediocre driver, or, for lack of a better term, a Diet Kyle Petty, at best. Until he actually utilizes the Hendrick power, he's nothing more than a NASCAR journeyman, with a side of 3 fluke wins. Alright, Kevin Harvick. My opinion really hasn't changed too much from Kevin Harvick from the last time I talked about him, but I will say this. He really deserves a lot more than what he has in terms of championships. Sadly, not a lot of people will give him enough credit because he will only have that one championship to his name, which is the 2014 championship. And it doesn't surprise me that his career has outlived Jimmy Johnson's, especially when Kevin Harvick, in comparison to Jimmy Johnson, is underachieved, either by RCR equipment setbacks, terrible luck, his racing style not aligning with the shitty racing package, especially at Texas, Or just, well, I don't even know, honestly. As much as I'm happy for Chase Elliott winning the 2020 championship, 2020 was hands down Harvick's. Same with 2015. Ugh, don't get me started on 2015. 2016 and 2010 as well, but because I get it, those are only hypothetical situations, but what does this accomplish other than transpiring Kevin Harvick into a punching bag? Nothing. There. Saved you all the trouble. Besides, Kevin Harvick isn't even that bad of a driver. I know he's had some on-track antics in the past, but he really is respectable to his fans. He even takes selfies with young fans whenever he wins races. I kind of hope that he does continue to win races at the current rate he's going, because I'm still to this day dumbfounded how he's still at a big winning spree in his age, whereas Jimmie Johnson's struggling all hell. Granted, Jimmie Johnson's at least rekindling his decency, but still. Kevin Harvick is like no other driver in NASCAR before. Alright, Kyle Larson. I'm proud of Kyle Larson for the things that he's been improving himself upon. After his big setback back in the last year, he learned from it, grew from it, and did all he could to become a better person, to even the extent of Bubba Wallace forgiving him. If Bubba Wallace can forgive Kyle Larson, I'm sure the rabid SJWs can as well. Oh, but no, they're more interested in fighting hate with hate than actually seeing change of heart in someone. Fuck anybody that continues to hold a grudge. Fuck anybody that blinds themselves from the person Kyle Larson actually is. Kyle Larson is no longer the person you think he is. Kyle Larson, I understand, saying the N-word is far from a petty reason to get fired over. You should definitely get fired, or at least fined big time if you say any slurs like that, but at the same time, do you think someone who's trying to improve themselves should be canceled forever? I don't think so. So yeah, Kyle Larson, both in terms of being a person and a race car driver, has really come a long way. And I can't wait to see more of him. Ryan Newman. Don't really have too much to say about Ryan Newman, and my opinion really hasn't changed much since my video, what I said about him in 2018, but still, all I gotta say is he still to this day did not deserve that 2014 Final Four spot. Jeff Gordon was consistently in the podium finishes and has consistently dominated races. What did he do in 2014? Absolutely nothing! Nothing compared to Jeff Gordon. This format is a joke. But nevertheless, I'm just glad that Ryan Newman's still to this day racing and is alive and well. Call him washed up or what have you, but you never know what he's going to do eventually. There's always that one race where he just abruptly wins out of nowhere, not to mention Roush Fenway is at least getting just a little bit better. Not by a lot, they still have a long way to go, but they're getting there. Glad that Ryan Newman could actually join the team that actually needs help, since they are a broken shadow of their former selves from the 2000s. So yeah, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Ryan Newman, he is certainly not like his Penske self, where he would become almost a weekly pole winner. He won 8 to 11 poles every single year in the 2000s. That guy was not called Rocketman for nothing. Next, Corey LaJoie. I know a lot of people will want me to really rant my heart out about him, given the Trump propaganda sponsor, but given the fact that that wasn't really his fault and essentially he was forced to drive it, essentially forcing politics down his throat, which is something that conservatives seem to turn a blind eye to when it jacking off to their propaganda. It's not really something I hate Corey LaJoie over. Luckily, he is no longer affiliated with that sponsor. He can now be bully free, or at least for now, unless there's a lot of Twitter mongrels that will continue to hold a grudge against him. Who am I to judge, so... I just wish Corey LaJoie the best of his racing career. Next, Tyler Reddick. I'm not really a big Tyler Reddick guy. I mean, I was impressed with his run at the Homestead race this year, but given that he is with Hendrick Equipment now, I am giving him a chance to really show that he can shine. Not really holding my breath for it, but at the same time, I'm not going to really write him off as a NASCAR bust or anything like that. So, I can't really recite any reason why I should have any sort of ire towards him either. So, he's kind of free. I'll leave him off the hook with this one. Oh, yes. I'm sure you'll skip to this one since I am a super fan of this guy ever since Jimmie Johnson and Jeff Gordon hung it up. Chase Elliott. Unfortunately, Chase Elliott has been really struggling. Hopefully this isn't one of those typical trendy championship hangovers where a driver is massively underwhelming in comparison to their first championship season or whatever championship number they're at. But I think once they get everything dialed in, he'll probably have just at least a decent season. Hopefully by at least Kata, he'll probably get his first Cup win of 2021. I do have good faith he'll get back on track, no pun intended, but he's got to defy the championship hangover somehow. I mean, a lot of people are going to say, oh, you just like him because of his number, or I like him because, I don't know, he was greatly influenced by the top two OG Hendrick legends and transpired into a humble and talented racer. Just my thoughts. Maybe it just had nothing to do with Bill Elliott, especially when I was never a Bill Elliott fan to begin with. That's not to say I didn't like him, though. Of course I liked him, but it's just that my love for NASCAR back in the 2000s didn't hinge off of him. It hinged off Jeff Gordon and Jimmie Johnson. How is that even an invalid reason to like a driver just because they're talented anyway? Wouldn't you want drivers to succeed? Wouldn't you admire drivers for the talent they display on the track? Who do you expect me to be a fan of? I don't fucking know. J.J. Yaley? Casey Atwood? Cody Ware? Chase Elliott is a great driver and a great human being. No different from why I love Jimmie Johnson and Jeff Gordon. I could go on for so long why Chase Elliott has earned my allegiance, but I don't want to make this video longer than I need to. Aric Almirola. He is indeed a talented racer, re-energizing the power to the 10 car since Danica Patrick never did jack shit for that car in the first place. He has shown that he can lead plenty of laps if he can, too, especially at Texas 2 years ago. And even made the playoffs without having to win, too. He is not a bad racer, and I'm willing to bet if he were to take the 10 car sooner at Stewart-Haas Racing, he probably would have had a bigger and better and more respectable resume had Danica Patrick not wasted that C for so long. Had NASCAR or the media not care more about worthless revenue from GoDaddy.com more. Hey, it is what it is. I just do, however, wish the best for Aric Almirola. Denny Hamlin. I'm sure a lot of people will expect a vitriolic rage on this one, but I actually really do not have much negativity to say about Denny Hamlin, considering that he has calmed down with his jackassery, not to mention his interview when expressing his displeasure towards Joey Logano of the Martinsville race 2 years ago was quite hysterical. We don't get to short track racing, which was pretty fucking funny if you ask me. I still, however, like to tease the rabid Denny fans that won't shut the fuck up about Chase's rightful payback to him, the 2017 Phoenix race, because, well, you know, because that's what NASCAR fans like to do. They like to hold fruitless grudges. They like to find bullshit, petty reasons that are obsolete to hate a driver. It is what it is, I guess. What can you do about stupid? You can't fix stupid. It's like talking to a brick wall that will just do nothing more than throw a bunch of childish and juvenile no-you arguments back at you, but whatever. Since I am such a nice guy towards the Denny fans, he very well could eventually tie Junior Johnson at the very least if he doesn't win a championship. We'll have to just see what happens if he can keep his consistency. Right now, he has been statistically the best driver these first 6 races so far. Alright. Let's move on to a driver that I'm a big fan of. A driver I met too, Ryan Blaney. Bullet Badass Blaney. The latest winner at Atlanta. I really do love Blaney. I really hope he escalates his performances here. He has shown that he can compete for wins, but I just want to know when he's going to compete for that championship. You see Joey Logano, you see Brad Keselowski. Both of them consistently compete for the Final Four. Both of them consistently win more than one race a year. Even though Joey Logano had a very sluggish start to his career, he at least took off like a rocket, starting off in 2014. But where's the similar consistency in Ryan Blaney of all those victories? Where's our victories from our Bullet Badass Blaney? Why can't he get on the same winning pace as Brad or Sliced Bread Logano? Yeah. Could be just a combination of ill-timed luck, but my main hope and goal for Blaney is that he'll get at least one more win above just one this year for the first time in his career. I'm willing to bet that it'll probably be later at Daytona, I want to say. But we'll have to see. Really hoping the best for Bullet Badass Blaney. Go Ryan Blaney. And it's the first driver since like 2005 I've met in person. Chase Briscoe. Right now he's been really having a lot of rookie errors similar to Kurt Busch's 2001 season. Good God, that was an abysmal season. But then again, you kind of can't blame it on Chase Briscoe, considering this is only his first season in the Cup Series, and he has been through a lot of miscarriage travesties. And I really hope, and since I heard that he's going to be a father to a boy now, I really hope that doesn't end up being yet another miscarriage, because I would hate to see especially a third dud in pregnancy in his wife, and I really, 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 really hope that he could at least win by being a dad. Hopefully eventually he'll at least have a few decent days here and there in the NASCAR Cup Series, I'm not really a big fan of the guy, but hey, my first impression of him is that he got at least 9 wins in the Xfinity Series without being on the same spoiled level as a certain somebody in the 18 that loves to feed his ego. I think the one thing I said about Xfinity being plagued with cup leeches is that if an Xfinity regular were to win into the same degree as Kyle Busch, that would be impressive. But since it's Kyle Busch, a Leech King, it's not impressive, especially when he's spoiled with all the cup equipment, cup pit crew, cup everything on the Xfinity field. So yeah, Chase Briscoe has indeed impressed me. He may not be one of my favorites, but I do really respect and like him a lot. So yeah, good luck to Chase Briscoe on becoming a daddy. Really hope it carries through. Rick Ware Racing. What exactly have they done to even warrant me talking about them? Nothing. Worst team in NASCAR. Biggest dud and bust of all of NASCAR history. It's self-explanatory. Moving on. Chris Buescher. Don't really have too much of an opinion, but I was quite impressed with his dominating performance at Homestead. Although it, of course, was short-lived when it was too good to be true and finished yet another mediocre, I think it was 18th that he finished. Chris Buescher does have an Xfinity championship to his name, but he really hasn't done much yet in Roush equipment. He does have one rain-out race win to his name, but that's the key word, rain-out race. We'll have to just see what he can do with the Roush equipment in due time. Roush Heavenly Racing really hasn't even been pinging on the radar at all out of the last couple of years. I think the last time they won was it 2017, Talladega and Daytona through Ricky Stenhouse Jr., I want to say. Yeah, I do feel like there's a bit of a rejuvenation going on in Roush, but I'm not holding my breath for it. Oh, for fuck's sake. Do I have to talk about this piece of shit? Do I really have to say anything about Kyle Busch? Do I have to? Okay. Fine. Let's talk about the king of cup leeches, Kryle bitch. Yes, he's a Hall of Famer. Yes, he's a NASCAR legend. No, it does not change the fact that he is one of the biggest, if not the biggest raving douche in all of NASCAR history, and probably maybe even all of sports history if you don't count Noah Gragson. And a lot of people are going to make this bullshit excuses saying that, oh, he did the thing for his kid after he won the Richmond race. Oh, bullshit. If you even look at his most latest offense at Bristol, he hand-waved all the thousands of fans that wanted his autograph, or at the very least, wanted a handshake from the fucking guy. I mean this in the most compassionate way possible. Anybody that thinks he's a nice or humble, compassionate human being is a fucking dense moron. You can grab a rusty knife and fuck yourself with it if you actually think, or stupid enough to think that Kyle Busch gives a shit about you. Watch again. He's gonna whine, intent wreck somebody, do or say something absolutely stupid this year. One of those things. I'm gonna prove I'm right long term. Watch me. Watch me be right. So yeah, Kyle Busch, go fuck yourself. Alright, now that I'm done talking about Kyle Busch, let's talk about a driver that actually matters in Joe Gibbs. Martin Truex Jr. Again, he went from a NASCAR, one of those presumed NASCAR journeymen, to a driver that was consistently finishing second, choking away victories we thought it would never come, that he would be a almost weekly winner, but here he is. He's tied with Carl Edwards of all people. I'm still satisfied with his championship to this day because, well, it kind of gives a retribution for my main guy, Levi McIntyre, since Carl Edwards has 1 to 2 missing rings, and 2011 definitely hurt him the most, and Martin Truex Jr. luckily has a rightful championship to his name, and Martin Truex Jr., while he has said some things that were off the deep end about Logano, I still like him. I still think he's a pretty cool dude, and I still think he's quite the wholesome guy. And if he can keep up his winning consistency year by year, we all thought he was going to fall off the cliff when Cole Byrne left his team, but when he won at Phoenix, that was pretty much his big psych to us. So yeah, my opinion on Truex hasn't really much changed since, of course, he's still one of my favorites from at least the tail end of the Gen 4 era. But nevertheless, he's a wholesome dude. Go Truex. Next, Christopher Bell. I was actually happy that he won the Truck Series championship, because I never really had much of a reason to hate him in the first place, because he's honestly not that bad of a driver. Won his first career Cup win at a road course, much like Chase Elliott. Granted, Chase Elliott did choke that victory due to bullshit, but hey, what's to say that he wasn't catching up to Joey Logano throughout that race? What's to say that he wasn't even competing against Chase Elliott that race? So yeah, kudos to Christopher Bell for winning that race, and that is also gives more of a reason for me to humiliate the Kryle bitch apologists, because Adam Stevens won before Kryle bitch, especially when Kryle bitch was flopping like a loser in 35th place. So yeah, not a big Christopher Bell guy, but I was pretty psyched when he got his first career win, even though it was due to Chase Elliott having one of the most bullshit chokes in his career, but at least it was a tolerable driver. Anyways, next, Matt DiBurrito. He has shown promise that he can win, no matter what track it is. Las Vegas, Bristol, Talladega. Doesn't matter where he is. He always seems to be running up towards the front in the Wood Brothers machine. I just don't know why he hasn't gotten his first career win yet. It's always untimely luck. I predicted that he was going to win the Daytona 500, considering that poetic victories have happened plenty of times in NASCAR, but well, McDowell was the one to get the first career win before him. But of course, the first big one is pretty much when validated his chances of even competing for the victory. So I don't know when the first career win's going to come, but given that we're 2 out of 5 first career wins so far, since every time it's the ones of a decade in the single digits, it's always 5 new first-time winners. For 2001, it was Michael Waltrip, Kevin Harvick, who else? Ricky Craven, who else? Who else? Elliott Sadler, and Robbie Gordon. For 2011, it was Trevor Bayne, Regan Smith, David Ragan, Paul Menard, and Marcos Ambrose. So far, we have Michael McDowell and Christopher Bell. So I wonder if Matt DiBurrito is going to be one of the new first-time winners. We'll have to see. Joey Logano. Not much has changed since my 2018 opinion, other than him being a roadblock, interfering with race battles. constantly creating dirty air or fucking it. He's just being nothing more than a roadblock. Atlanta this year. Las Vegas this last year. Homestead last year. Bristol last year. Every time I tried to be a fan of Logano, but he's just been an absolute insufferable, raving, greased weasel on the track. If you want to know my opinion on Logano from the last year, just watch my 2018 video, because I do not want to repeat myself constantly. Alright. Let's move on to the driver that lives rent-free in the minds of NASCAR, no matter what the post is about on social media. Bubba Wallace. I mean, he could be one of the next drivers to get his first career win in the Michael Jordan equipment. Anytime Bubba Wallace gets a better finish for himself, it's always, oh, but Bubba Wallace can't do this, Bubba Wallace can't do that. It's always a moving goalpost every time Bubba Wallace proves his haters wrong in the long run. Like, can't you do anything else except to move the goalpost? I'm not a fan of the guy at all, but can you... You do realize that, racism is absolutely still a thing, right? I mean, even if he misidentified that rope as a noose, is it even necessary insinuating nooses in GIFs, which I have absolutely seen all over Twitter? Is it necessary for you to even milk that situation? Logic would dictate that you would try to help him or yourself move on from it, but now you're trying to constantly insinuate it by posting a bunch of KKK gifs to him. Okay, I'm not gonna... I made my point. Bubba Wallace detractors are massive hypocrites. They are a bunch of insufferable edgelords that are absolute fucking egotistical dimwits. Whatever. Who am I to talk? So I'm just gonna continue to talk about William Byron. He did not do too much his first career. Even when he had Chad Knaus, he was only a one-hit wonder with said 7-time crew chief. And in just 4 starts with Rudy Fugel, won at Homestead. Gee. It's almost as if it's not always Chad Knaus all the time. I know that may sound outlandish. Maybe it's just the pair between Chad Knaus and Jimmie Johnson. Wow. Strange to a lot of inept and illiterate NASCAR fans that stuff works. It took William Byron almost his 100th career start when Chad Knaus was on top of the box, but in just William Byron's 4th start with Rudy, he wins at Homestead. It's almost as if it's not exclusively Chad Knaus's power for Jimmie Johnson, especially when that same Jimmie Johnson won twice under the championship winning crew chief for Tony Stewart in 2011. And even if he didn't win, he got either 2nd or 6th. And when he's not DNFing, he's in the top 10 and top 5. So there you go. Okay, sorry, that was a little bit of a tangent on the whole crew chief moving goalpost fallacies that these idiot NASCAR fans tend to utilize whenever they can't admit that Jimmie Johnson's factually a legend. But hey, I like William Byron. Hopefully that he'll have a much more respectable resume in due time. His Homestead win's only the beginning. He's slowly contributing to the Petty Enterprise milestone. Hopefully that will happen in due time. Michael McDowell. I remember seeing that qualifying crash of his at Texas in 2008, and I was just in absolute shock and awe that a NASCAR driver would take such an impact like this. And I think that was the first ever COT crash that any driver could have ever sustained. I even met Michael McDowell's cousin, Brandon McDowell, on Facebook. Unfortunately, he's not as active anymore. He's told me all about his racing life around him. Brandon McDowell's favorite driver actually is Brian Vickers, by the way. And I thought it was pretty cool that I interacted with a cousin of a NASCAR driver, and I always thought to myself, I wonder if Michael McDowell will eventually get a career win for himself, since first career wins for a lot of unheard of names tend to happen quite a bit. More often than not, actually. And then, a whole decade later, here we are. He's a Daytona 500 winner. Holy mother of Hades. I'd never thought it would come at a crown jewel of all places. I was starting to think that Michael McDowell was never gonna break through, gonna become another Dave Blaney where you have the talent, or Dave Blaney and Mike Skinner, where you have the talent, you have the capabilities of winning, but just can't seem to pull it through. And then Michael McDowell's a career win number one through the Daytona 500. And even consistently stayed in the top 10 the next two races after the Daytona 500. And it is still 13th in points, I believe. That's honestly staggeringly impressive. Alright, moving on to Ryan Preece. Don't have much of an opinion on him other than the fact that he is a hometown driver of New England from Connecticut, and I actually think he could have a first career win coming his way if he could keep on his persistence and perseverance to compete, at the very least, compete for good finishes, and maybe take that chance to even go for wins. He's been up front before, especially the 2019 Talladega race where they called the caution too soon for Ryan Preece to even have a say in chances of winning. I was glad Chase Elliott won, but at the exact same time, those wrecking cars were not in the way to interfere any of the cars competing for the win, so whatever, I digress. Ryan Preece has shown that he can wheel inferior equipment at JTG Daughtry Racing. So if he keeps up with his persistency, he could potentially become a NASCAR winner. So I would still keep my eyes on that 37 machine. So don't count him out as a potential first-time winner. Anthony Alfredo. First impression of him was basically his catastrophic flip at Kansas, and especially my kitty Nala was scratching at the TV, staring at the replays of the flip, concerning her greatly. And also known as the driver to say, Kyle, you're talking to everybody, when Kyle Larson said let's just say the word. I don't really have much to say about Anthony Alfredo other than the fact that he's also with Front Row Motors, considering he's also in a number that has yet to see victory lane on that team. The 38 has seen victory lane before, but was never for Front Row Motorsports. So I just want to see, but the 38 has been up front when John Hunter Nemechek was behind the wheel. I want to see if Anthony Alfredo could manage a few exceptional finishes out of that 38 machine. Wish him the best, though. Next, oh, for fuck's sake. Why, Tony Stewart, did you hire this piece of shit? You actually think a person like him for what he did to John Hunter Nemechek, a Canadian Tire, was okay because of a bump that warrants a fist fight? And also, what has he done to warrant a spot in the playoffs? Does NASCAR not realize the whole win and you're in is complete bullshit and completely invalidates someone else's superior consistency to that driver that had that fluke win? Cole Custurd didn't lead as many laps as Jimmy Johnson in 2020. Even in Jimmy Johnson's worst seasons, he's better than this piece of shit. What has Cole Custurd done outside of that fluke win to deserve to be in the playoffs? Nothing! He didn't last beyond the first round. At all. He should not even be in Stewart-Haas racing. Until he can actually be, at the very least, a Kurt Busch consistent driver where even if he has setbacks, he can find himself in the top 10 or top 5, then I will concede. But no, he is an absolute piece of trash. An absolute rogue punk on the track that has done absolutely nothing to earn a full-fledged SHR vehicle. Tony Stewart has made some misses, but I can guarantee this is not going to go anywhere. Until proven otherwise, I don't see anything worthy coming out of this one. Alright, anyways, enough dwelling. Ross Chastain. First, wasn't really the biggest fan of him, considering some incident with Kevin Harvick at Darlington in the Xfinity Series, but when he started doing the watermelon toss to the ground every time he won a race, much like how Carl Edwards did the backflip every race victory of his, and Tony Stewart climbed the fence after every race victory of his, and how Kurt Busch did some snow angels every time he won. I thought it was pretty cool how Ross Chastain had some antics to show on screen every time he won races. So it kind of rekindles the NASCAR eccentric personalities on track. Or NASCAR victory celebrations. It makes victories much more fun to watch, if you ask me. Chastain isn't necessarily one of my favorites, but I do think he has a cup win coming his way eventually. Maybe this year he'll probably join the club of first-time winners of the ones of each decade. Maybe he's probably going to be the third first-time winner of 2021, continuing the trend of a big boomer of first-time winners of the one's year of the decade. Chip Ganassi doesn't really have the best equipment, but hopefully Ross Chastain and Kurt Busch can manage whatever they can out of the limited equipment that they have. Kurt Busch has even came back into the top 10 after a penalty at Homestead, so that should give Ross Chastain some confidence in himself, if even his teammate could make such a comeback like that. So yeah, good luck to Ross Chastain. Erik Jones. I was pretty frustrated that he didn't get his first career win at Bristol in 2017. I really, really, really wanted him to move Kyle Busch out of the way. I desperately didn't want to see Kyle Busch win. But of course, we just can't have nice things. But hey, I saw him get his first win at Daytona, so that I guess you could say that feels a bit of a redemption for me. I know it's in Joe Gibbs where the evil drivers are spawned, but hey, his time with Joe Gibbs didn't even last that long. So I just hope Erik Jones' performance at Richard Petty Motors won't be too bad. unfortunately, I hate to say it for all the Erik Jones fans, I don't think he might compete for wins as often at this point, but hopefully he can manage a few exceptional finishes here and there, because anything with the name Richard Petty on it or Petty Enterprise went down the shitter ever since Petty Enterprise shut down, or ever since Adam Petty passed away. Unfortunately, has shown. So, I do hope the best for Erik Jones. Hopefully, Richard Petty Motors won't be under the radar for too long. But hey, time will tell. Hate to see that Erik Jones will probably be in a cup ride that runs mid-pack all year long, week in and week out, but hey, we'll give him a chance to see what he can manage out of it. Shitty Wreckhouse Jr. An idiot that constantly wrecks good cars on track, has an IQ of a zebra taking a diarrheal dump, an absolute idiot that has not changed whatsoever ever since he went to JTG Daughtry Racing. New number, new manufacturer, same dumbass on track. What else can I say? He is Shitty Wreckhouse Jr. Nothing changed. Alright. Alex Bowman. I kind of regret saying that Alex Bowman sucks when he was at BK Racing in 2014, but all a part of growing up of the now 2014 year-old. What the fuck am I even saying? Good God, I'm scrambling the shit out of my words, or numbers, whatever. This 24-year-old self of me is retracting my initial word on Alex Bowman from 2014, since the fact that Alex Bowman was in dog shit equipment and couldn't really manage much out of it given the limited power that it had. It really wasn't Alex Bowman's fault. Alex Bowman may have a wackadoodle start to this season a little bit, but that's not to say that he won't eventually come in clutch. I believe that he'll probably come in clutch at New Hampshire, of all places. New Hampshire has had unexpected winners before. Don't forget Brian Vickers in 2013, so Alex Bowman's not going to be any different at all. So who knows where he's going to win at. The track that Alex Bowman, I'm sure, will win at will probably get taken off the schedule the next year, much like Chicago, like how Chicagoland's no more, and like how the intermediate configuration of Auto Club will be no more after 2022, and like how his number 88 is no more. I hope this doesn't mean that Hendrick Motorsports will shut down when he wins a championship. Okay, I'm thinking out loud. I do hope the best for Alex Bowman. I gracefully resign my initial thoughts on him when he was with BK Racing, considering he didn't have much of a choice. But he did work his way up and prove himself that he does belong in Hendrick Motorsports, especially when he was competing for a win at Phoenix when filling in for Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 2016. He may have been under the radar for so long, but he finally managed 2 wins so far, albeit his resume may seem underwhelming in comparison to Kyle Larson, but Chase Elliott, but that's not to say that he won't do anything in the future. Don't write him off too soon yet, guys. He has a lot to prove. Cody Ware. Same thing I said about Rick Ware Racing. Another Rick Ware bust. Another Rick Ware bust. Timmy Hill. Just let him race, goddammit. What exactly did he do wrong to not warrant racing? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, go on Twitter. Spire Motorsports. Jamie McMurray, it was fun to see him race for a one-off at the Daytona 500, and I think he finished 7th that race. Justin Haley as well is a pretty talented racer that is given powered equipment. He's pretty much kind of similar to Alex Bowman, where he does have talent but is being held back by dumpster fire equipment. So I'm not going to be fooled to think that Justin Haley sucks this time, because I do not want to make the same mistake that I previously did with Alex Bowman when I was 17 years old. So I'm going to give Justin Haley a chance first in the Cup Series, because he has shown that he is a talented driver in the Xfinity Series, and has even gone as far as to win a couple poetic justice victories for himself. So, yeah. Good luck to Justin Haley, wherever the road takes him. No opinion on the 78 team, and Daniel Suarez, don't really have much of an opinion on him other than the fact that, well, he just hasn't really lived up to expectations. I don't know what else I can say. He may have a championship to his names, but then again, there's always the catch. The playoffs really give everyone this false illusion, but Suarez just happened to have his Easter presents, his Christmas presents, his birthday presents, Thanksgiving meal, and Halloween candy all in one night, giving everyone this false impression that he is more worthy of that 19 machine than Carl Edwards was. I really miss Carl Edwards, by the way. And now Daniel Suarez is pretty much reduced to a journeyman. I don't even hate the guy, but goddamn has he fallen so far down the abyss. And I think I could wrap up this video by giving my opinion on Kaz Grala on the 16. He's a can't-miss talent. Maybe he'll be paired with, since Bubba Wallace is paired with Michael Jordan, maybe he'll be paired with Tom Brady? Who knows? He's my hometown driver. He's my Bostonian NASCAR driver, so I really hope he eventually gets a full-fledged ride that he deserves. He got 7th place at the Daytona road course on his first start. His first start, he got a 7th place at the Daytona road course in RCR machinery. That should give people a wake-up call that this guy is a can't-miss talent. You cannot turn this guy into a what-if. You have to, at all costs, give this guy a chance. Give my boy a chance. Give my boy a chance. He's got to get the equipment he deserves. He's got to eventually build his talent levels to where he deserves to be at. Kaz Grala is the driver we absolutely need. Because with all these NASCAR busts that have been disappointing the NASCAR community, that have been really ruining other drivers of their big emblematic milestones as well, Kaz Grala is the hero that we truthfully need. So, Tom Brady, if you have got any moments or money to spare, Kaz Grala's phone is always available for you to call. So yeah, if you happen to come across this Tom Brady, you just start to sit down and think and consider for a while. Because this is an opportunity that you should think about. Alright guys, I think I made my point in case with every driver here. Hopefully I was about as clear and concise as I possibly could. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully I was about as cohesive as I possibly was to you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed my video. Thank you for tuning in, and stay tuned for more. I'm Space Metal Ferrari 248, and I'm spacing out.